people have to understand what's at stake. Donald Trump cannot return to that Oval Office.
Why not, Jim Comey? Got something to hide? Why were you so emphatic back in the summer of 2024? The former disgraced FBI director said Donald Trump, under no circumstances may he be permitted to win.
FBI Director Kash Patel has officially launched an investigation into former head of the FBI, James Comey, over the Bureau's alleged surveillance of the 2016 Trump campaign.
Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening?
The FBI is opening an investigation into a reported decade-old plan to infiltrate Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign using 2 undercover female agents. According to the Washington Times, the investigation was off the books, launched by former Director James Comey and brought to the attention of the House Judiciary Committee last year by a whistleblower.
Here's a clue. The guy was up to some bad stuff, and Kash Patel and his deputy, Dan Bongino, are onto him. Fact sheet, please. Yes, the FBI launches an investigation into Comey for targeting Trump's 2016 campaign.
But they found that apparently there was some sort of FBI whistleblower who blew the whistle on James Comey launching a separate investigation, meaning separate from the Russia collusion investigation, having to do with honeypots, 2 honeypots, who were allegedly attempting to entrap Donald Trump.
The female agents acted as what the intelligence community described as honeypots, who worked to obtain information by building romantic relationships with their target. They traveled with President Trump and his campaign staff. The whistleblower disclosure stated they have firsthand knowledge that Comey ordered and personally directed the investigation. They also described the investigation as a fishing expedition to find something incriminating rather than targeting a specific crime.
Super skeptical. Red flag, red flag.
I'm not skeptical. I'm open to hearing what the evidence is. I think the bigger issue is politicizing government agencies against political opponents.
No, I think it's a disaster. You're telling me the guy that Trump hates the most, James Comey, right?
Why does he hate James Comey
Because James Comey started the Russia investigation against him.
True.
The Russians had had contacts with people associated with the Trump campaign. Now that may or may not be true. Has the FBI investigated these reported relationships?
Thank you, Senator. I would never comment on investigations, whether we have one or not, in an open forum like this. So I really can't answer it one way or another.
He started the Russia investigation against him.
True.
So he's never going to let that go.
But he also kind of screwed over Hillary Clinton.
But he doesn't care about that. He does, and he just cares. Good to Trump, not good to Trump. He was not good to Trump. He didn't let me do this, okay?
This man, there's a very good chance he'll go to jail. I believe he belongs there.
Good to Trump, not good to Trump. He was not good to Trump, okay?
Yeah, there was a lot of glory for him for a while. Movies, books. They actually made a movie about him because he gave it to Trump, right? He tried to stick it to Trump. And that's what the swamp and the establishment will do for you.
Okay.
At the outset of your administration, sir, you committed to ending the weaponization of government, to holding those accountable who participated in the weaponization of government.
Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening?
And we're going to continue holding the people who were responsible for the weaponization of government and who supported it accountable for what they did.
The weaponization of our system by law firms, even pro bono work they're doing just in order to clog up government, stop government. And nobody knows about it more than me. And hopefully that'll never happen again.
But can we at least acknowledge Trump hates James Comey, obviously, right?
He does.
Has a giant vendetta against James Comey. What did Kash Patel, what was he famous for? For having an enemies list that he would target.
Your crack is whack.
Goes after not one of, the person that Donald Trump hates the most, and then comes to me with some absurd plot of honeypot agents trying to what, sleep with Donald Trump? FBI agents were sent to sleep with Donald Trump.
Maybe.
Get out of here, there's no chance that story. I'd be shocked, I'll fall out of this chair if that story's true.
Are
are they investigating Trump for working with the Russians while being president? And you know my answer to that. Of course they are. You'd be crazy not to.
There's no, first of all, they're not even that competent. Second of all, you're gonna tell an FBI agent to go sleep with a candidate? No, you're not. That doesn't happen in America these days. Guys, you're thinking 1950s, 60s, whatever, like dun dun dun, James Bond crap. This isn't it. They're largely bureaucrats. If you told a female FBI agent to go sleep with someone, you'd get fired and sued.
Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening?
The whistleblower disclosure states the case had no predicated foundation, so Comey personally directed the investigation without creating an official case file in Sentinel or any other FBI system. The FBI has multiple methods of protecting highly sensitive investigations, so Comey did not have a legitimate reason not to officially create an official investigation file or have a file number.
They spied on my campaign.
There's no
Leslie.
real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
It's all over the place. Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Patel and newly appointed Deputy Director of the FBI, Dan Bongino, are targeting Comey and citing this whistleblower and their allegations.
I've been targeted for 4 years, longer than that. So you don't tell me about targeting. I was the target of corrupt politicians for 4 years, and then 4 years after that. So don't talk to me about targeting. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, according to the Times, Patel and Bongino have kicked off their probe by seeking to find Comey's 2 alleged honeypots.
Yeah, good luck. They'll be on the same chase as OJ was to find the real killer. So when they targeted Comey, which obviously they did, they must have gone through all of his stuff. Oh man, we can't find any sex on him because that's the #1 thing they look for. Damn it, we can't find anything illegal on him. Oh, I got an idea. Why don't we invent this fantastical story about undercover agents that were so undercover we'll never be able to find them, but they were gonna go and seduce Donald Trump and say, oh, Russia, Russia, Russia to him, or whatever nonsense that they're making up here.
When FBI Director Kash Patel was sworn in, he promised accountability was coming within the FBI.
So there's no chance this is true, and it means James Comey apparently didn't do anything illegal his whole life, so congratulations, Comey, that they had to invent this crap to go after him. So, and by the way, if they arrest James Comey, that's it, it's begun.
There was never any credible evidence to launch the investigation. Comey grudgingly admitted it. And then they made matters worse. They lied to FISA judges to obtain a wiretap warrant.
Okay.
Plenty of small things. In the main, I think the FBI did it in the right way during a very difficult time in 2016.
Then, okay, and by the way, if nobody says anything, because the Democrats also hate James Comey, because he did screw over Hillary Clinton right before the election.
Comey went out before the public and said no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges against Hillary Clinton. Yet his general counsel had been fighting with them for I don't even know how long. In fact, throughout the whole investigation, basically arguing that this was gross negligence.
So now we're just arresting political opponents.
I've been targeted for 4 years, longer than that.
If somebody did something deeply illegal and unconstitutional and I was in power, I would not do likewise. I would go, oh yeah, I'm just as illegal and unconstitutional as you guys.
This motherfucker's a retard.
But even if you believe Biden did it and it was terrible to Trump, you think strike back is a thing that's okay when you're using the United States government? You think this is a game? Is this personal? No, you don't get to break the law like that. And you don't get to say, well, ha ha, they did it too.
In exuberant song.
If Comey's spick and span, he's got nothing to worry about because honestly, Cenk, what Trump supporters believe and want doesn't matter, okay? The courts don't care about that. The courts are gonna need to see evidence of wrongdoing by James Comey.
A big part of the counterintelligence investigation was trying to understand, do the Russians have something on Donald Trump?
This is exactly what people were worried about. exactly why I voted against Trump, because I knew he couldn't let it go, and I knew he didn't give a crap about the laws of this country or the Constitution. He doesn't care about our system of government. He doesn't care about the Constitution. The very first thing he does with his Department of Justice is go after my enemies.
A deranged person.
I am your voice.
Remember what they did in the summer of 2016? They opened up an investigation into then candidate Trump. They spy on 2 American citizens associated with his campaign. They used the now famous dossier, the salacious, unverified dossier, Jim Comey's words, not mine, the dossier that they knew was Russian disinformation, that they knew was false, that they knew was paid for by the Clinton campaign, and that they knew the guy who wrote it, Christopher Steele, had already told the Justice Department he was desperate to stop Trump. They used that as a basis to go spy on one of those 2 individuals. And then when all that happens, they get into the first few days of the Trump administration. And what do? They sneak over to the White House, don't follow proper protocol, don't notify the White House counsel that they're coming over. They sneak 2 agents in there and they set up Michael Flynn.